constant mantra in my life was just, your standards are too high. And it's BS. It's bullshark. Things like social media is making us so hyper judgmental and comparative. And I couldn't shake the feeling that I was letting little Veronica down. This is what she was staring up at the moon wishing for the first time in my life. I know the love that I give, and I expect that in return. Okay, please bear with my voice. I am still getting over a pretty nasty head cold, so I'm kind of feeling like Phoebe, sticky, icky shoes kind of vibes. But I've made myself some tea, and I thought we could just sit and chit-chat for a little bit. It's been a while since I've posted, and I'm gonna explain where I've been, why I took a little bit of a break in just a second. But I really wanted to start by saying thank you. You really saved me, and I don't say that lightly. I don't think I would have made it through some of these darkest times of my life without your help. Your support on watching my journey up until this point gave me a confidence that I, quite frankly, never had in my entire life. I've begun to realize that that lack of confidence and self-worth was one of the biggest culprits of unhappiness and, quite frankly, in many cases, mistreatment of who I am. I really allowed people to come into my life and completely disrespect me and completely undervalue me because I didn't understand how to value myself. I had no sense of self-worth. I basically went into every relationship worrying if that person was gonna like me, and never really asking myself, am I getting what I need from this relationship? Do I like this person? How do they affect my energy? Are they showing up with the same level of love and respect that I'm showing up with? I know myself very well now, and I love to love. I love it. I am such a lover girl. I have been in many situations in my life that have made me feel like that was unsafe and wrong, downright silly a lot of the time. But having your support and your encouragement and the amazing conversations that I've had with you in Instagram DMs or emails or in person if you've come to my workshops, you changed my whole life. Yeah, you just gave a courage and a confidence back to me. I owe that to ballet, I owe that to a lot of the inner work that I've done, but I also owe a lot of it to you for being there for me and being a positive, healthy relationship in my life that I just didn't have for a really, really, really long time. But the internet is kind of weird. I really wish that I could just keep it between me and you know, the positive people, the people who get it. But it's kind of weird because it sort of feels like we're having this great positive relationship and these amazing conversations. Unfortunately, there's some people that are not really on that same wavelength, and the forum is open to them as well. As much as I really do my best to try and focus on only the positive, I'm human and I'm sensitive, and in one of the most difficult, darkest times of my life, I was hypersensitive. I live in New York, and you know, there's a lot of crazy people in New York, and the other day I was having this really sweet conversation with a couple friends of mine. We were standing on the street about like, oh, it's springtime and everything is so great and lovely, and then some random person just walks by and goes, skank! And that's kind of what the internet feels like sometimes. You're having this wonderful, deep, positive, meaningful conversation, and a random person can just come along and be like, you're a hoe, you're a skank. And it's like, that's not really the energy I was attempting to cultivate, but okay. So I've been taking some time to figure out how I actually want to go about my place on the internet. Essentially anything I share becomes entertainment. Yeah, you're just gonna naturally be curious about certain things, and so I realized in sharing a lot about the fact that I got a divorce and I was breaking up my old relationship, that was gonna open the playing field for criticism and curiosity and assumptions to be made. I didn't really know what else to do because I knew that I had been very open about the fact that I was married, and I also knew that I was going to want to start dating again, and my whole life was going to change, and if I didn't address that, it was going to seem really bizarre. So I felt like, okay, I want to at least share about the fact that this is happening. Unfortunately, people immediately started to speculate and start rumors, make assumptions based on this much information. My character was being really attacked, and I really thought that I reached a place where I was ready for that and I could handle that, but I wasn't. A lot of the things that I've been through, which I really can't go into too much detail, it doesn't just affect me, that would also affect my ex and his circle of people, and that's just not really what my platform is about. My divorce is not tea. It was something deeply hurtful, and I have a lot that I'm still working through. But of course, you know, that puts me in a position of not really being able to defend against a lot of claims that were naturally coming up. It was extremely disappointing, specifically because I value our relationship so much, my relationship with you. Like I said, you saved me from this life that I was just gonna walk through, letting everybody walk all over me. The Veronica that you see now, that's kind of like no BS, rebellious, and really confident, that girl was born out of so many tough times. And I learned a lot, and it thickened my skin. I was watching people immediately listen to these rumors and speculations and go down this immediate rabbit hole of attacking my character. And it's like, damn, dude, I just spent so many years. I've been on YouTube for over 10 years. And I just spent so much time. I feel like I spend so much time just trying to help and empower you. And then because of my personal life, all of that could just go away in an instant. The internet is so bizarre, and it's really unfortunate. But I understand that that's the risk that I'm taking, sharing my personal life, or elements of my personal life. And it makes me really wonder how much of it I even want to share. But it just sucks because there's so much that I want to share with you. The majority of people are so much more open-minded and kind, but it's just really scary. It's a very vulnerable position to be in, and I felt like I just needed to take some time because it was getting to me too much. You know, I understand. I totally get it, because you don't really know the people on the internet. You don't really know what they're like, and we're disappointed by influencers and, you know, internet personalities all the time. We kind of forget that they're human beings too. And I think things like social media and all of this world that we live in is making us so hyper judgmental and comparative, and it's really easy to make assumptions and to project our own insecurities or our own perspective on the world onto other people that we're seeing online. I do it too. You know, I've been disappointed by people learning something about their character that I never expected or whatever. And so I totally get it. I totally understood, but no one, absolutely no one, had any idea what I had been going through. To see that maybe I am having these new relationships blossoming, I'm living my life in a different way, and that's making people feel uncomfortable because they're confused, you know, they're not understanding, and to the outside world, it seems like all of this is happening really fast. It's just kind of like, first of all, nobody just gets a divorce, okay? There are so many problems that are stacking up and stacking up and stacking up. The makeups and breakups that happen all the time. I just told you that I was getting a divorce, but there were years of things that nobody knew, not even my closest friends and family. I was really, really closed off about it because I was ashamed. And quite frankly, there were problems from day one. Day one. I really wish I had the strength to say, this is not going to work for me. But unfortunately, I was young and I didn't have the self-worth. Since I was a little girl, I used to look up to the moon and damn, I have some calloused feet. Yeah, I used to look up at the moon and imagine the future love of my life and send out a message and be like, I can't wait to meet you. I wonder what you're gonna be like. I've always been a hopeless romantic. I always had a picture in my mind of this strong, beautiful love. And over and over and over again, in my past relationships, as my boundaries were being crossed, I kept having this feeling, it's not supposed to feel like this. And I couldn't shake the feeling that I was letting little Veronica down. Like, this is what she waited her whole life for. This is what she was staring up at the moon, wishing for, waiting for, to be crying at almost every single special, monumental moment. It's not supposed to feel like that. Am I going to be crying when I have a baby? Am I going to be crying when we're celebrating our 50th anniversary? Like, no. All of the people that I've been with in the past, like, there's no ill will. Hurt people just hurt people. For the first time in my life, I know the love that I give. And I expect that in return. I never really went into relationships with intention. I had such little self-worth that basically I just felt like if someone gave me the time of day and looked my way and they decided they liked me, I was like, okay, I guess I like them too. I didn't have the personal empowerment to know that I can actually choose who I would like to be with. And when I come up with a picture of the person that I imagine being with, it's someone who is kind and loving and loyal and creative and whimsical and adventurous. Like, I can think of all these different things that would describe the person that I would like to be with. And by the way, I know that that person exists because I am that person. These are the attributes that I come to a relationship with. And that's what I expect in return. Oh my gosh, the constant mantra in my life was just, your standards are too high. Your standards are too high. You need to lower your standards. That's not real. That doesn't exist. And it's BS. It's bullshark. No, I'm that person. So we exist. And I would like to find a man who can match that or bring even more to the table. Don't tell me that that's not possible. I think that everybody deserves to find that. I think you deserve to find the person that really speaks to you and treats you the way that you deserve to be treated. And so for people on the internet to speculate and make assumptions, it's really, honestly, kind of antiquated. I'm not waiting enough time before I can be in the same room as another boy. Like, okay. I didn't realize that we were living in the Edwardian period and I should be wearing black for a very specific period of mourning, lest one bring shame to one's familial crest. You know, I don't want to totally freak you out, but I guess I should admit that I've also been showing a little bit of ankle recently. I know, what a heathen. But yeah, on a more lighter note, I am feeling really happy, minus the head cold. A lot of people have been asking if I'm dating again, and I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? I could be madly in love, or I could be out there dating 45 men at one time and heartbreaking all over the city. That's for me to know and you to find out if I choose to tell you. But yeah, on a more serious note, I am just trying to do a lot more thinking and processing about how I do want to share about my personal life. In the meantime, I think I'm just gonna keep it about my ballet journey and leave it at that. Man, I really wish I could tell you some of the amazing stuff that's been happening. I'm so happy. I'm in such a good mood. But right now, I just feel like I need to protect my peace. I don't really want opinions on all of that right now. Oh my god, my nose is getting so stuffy. Right now, I'm really only concerned with what I think of me, and I know my character. I know that I gave my all to something that probably was not necessary and never should have been done. And I know that I am worthy of the love that I give. So that's what I'm looking for now. And I am loving myself. I'm loving life. Yeah, I'm just really confident in that. So right now, I'm just gonna kind of keep some things to myself, but we shall see. We shall see if I choose to let the outside world in again. But in any case, I just wanted to say thank you to those of you who have been supportive and understanding and patient, and yeah, you've really changed my life, and I don't take that lightly. So I hope that no matter what storms the internet or life tries to throw me, I just hope you know that you mean a lot to me, and I hope you can understand that I'm a human being with a complicated life outside of the 2% that I choose to share with you on the internet. Anyway, I'm off to do a neti pot or something, because this is pretty wild.